Hello, my name is Ben Lee, and today I'm going to do a presentation on telehealth. And the title of this presentation is the same as the title of my persuasive paper, Telehealth, the Future of Medical Assistance. So my name is Ben Lee. I'm a first year majoring in computing science. This presentation is for CMPT 105W, SFU, and today is November 17th, 2022. So to outline or overview a little bit of the presentation before we actually get into it, this is going to be the order in which the presentation is going to be. So first, I will introduce the audience of this presentation, identify the audience, and describe them. I will also do a brief overview on the background of the topic of telehealth and also describe telehealth. And then I will go on about describing or introducing the controversy that telehealth is surrounded by. And I will not only just go through the controversy, I will talk about both the positive and negative sides of this controversy. I will present my stance on what I think about this controversy and my reasons or rationale behind it. And then I will follow with a conclusion, overviewing my stance and also my argument for the controversy. And then there will be references for the information that I used, and finally, questions and answers. So the audience of telehealth telehealth is targeted towards patients who are in need of telehealth, such as those patients who are living in very isolated areas, far away from civilized societies and away from hospitals and medical care, or they might be unable to move and therefore they might have issues accessing medical care, such as hospitals, doctors, clinics, or any other medical assistance. So these patients are important because they are able, with their demand and their increase in demand, this will encourage governments and other organizations to subsidize and support the growth of telehealth in the future. And it is important to have their attention and I'll do that by listing and focusing on the benefit that telehealth provides. They have a reason to listen to this because it has direct relations to the patient's health. And these patients will have a positive perception on telehealth because telehealth only benefits these patients. There will be nothing bad or harming them. Another audience will be the governments around the world. They are able to increase the subsidies or reimbursements for telehealth costs, so making telehealth more accessible. I will gain their attention by highlighting the issues that the patients go through daily, or also the patients whose only option is telehealth. They should listen because governments they should provide for the well-being of its citizens. And I believe that their perception of telehealth or increasing telehealth use will be negative because support or growing telehealth requires significant amounts of budget, and that budget comes from government budgets. Okay, so to talk a little bit about telehealth, telehealth basically is a broad term that encompasses both delivering health services, such as medical treatment, medical education, and self-care via the latest information technology. So telehealth was first used back in the 1920s. And the first use of telehealth was with radios, where patients and medical professionals or patients in remote areas in Alaska would communicate with medical professionals via radios. And so this would be the first use of telehealth. And telehealth has developed immensely throughout the years through technological advancements in emails, web portals, video meetings, apps, and way more. So this enables and facilitates the communication between patients and medical professionals, and it helps them consult with medical professionals also. So there are a few controversies surrounding telehealth or the use of telehealth, which is the personal health and health-related information security. So this implies that there's a potential threat or hacking or manipulation of personal information of the patients. Since telehealth mostly uses technology to store or communicate these information between individuals or groups, any hacker with a malicious intent could do something bad to these information. So, and that is controversy. However, telehealth facilitates communication between individuals or groups, and it can also store a great amount of information safely. So my personal stance on this controversy is that the controversy surrounding telehealth is not a significant issue, and also telehealth should be more used prevalently throughout the world. And the reasons for that is because the threat of hacking and manipulation of personal information is just inevitable in today's digital era, where every single piece of information is transmitted online through emails or whatnot. And it's not only telehealth that faces the risks of hacking and manipulation of data. Every other industry faces the same risks. And those threats can be prevented through cybersecurity if done well. And also, finally, the benefits of telehealth outweighs the potential risks of hacking and manipulation of personal information. And so this is why I believe that telehealth should be used more widely, and its use should be more encouraged. So for the conclusion, I conclude that telehealth is a medical tool enabled by various different technologies around us. And telehealth also helps many patients around the globe who have, as I mentioned before, who have difficulties accessing the medical services, whether they live remotely or they have problems with their bodies, so they cannot visit the clinics or medical professionals on a daily basis. It can also be used for monitoring and communicating between patients and medical professionals, most likely doctors. And so the risks of using telehealth are minuscule, the risks being potential threats to hacking and manipulation of personal health information. So these risks are minuscule in considering the situation of patients whose health or even life that depend on telehealth because of their physical or financial situation. Telehealth is a technological tool or medical tool that is essential in today's society. So these are the references that I used. These will be in-text cited. And finally, thank you for your attention. And for questions and answers, there is one question, which is, how can governments work to be able to provide universal telehealth to citizens? Because as I mentioned before, one of the reasons that telehealth is still not used around the globe by every patient is because there are costs that the patients have to provide in order to use telehealth, such as installing Wi-Fi or buying a new laptop. And so these costs could be covered by government in the future. Thank you for listening.